Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Mad Meta. I don't know what this is. I haven't uploaded anything to YouTube in a bit because I'm so far behind. So I apologize to everyone who's not seen any of my content for a little bit. I am in the middle of helping my brother with everything that he has going on, helping my parents with everything they have going on, holding down a full-time job, figuring out a medical situation, figuring out new housing situation, and so I have been stretched pretty thin lately. So today I feel like playing some blue Tron. We're just going to see what happens, and hopefully we can have a good time. I gotta let the Discord know. And then, yeah, so, like I said, I've been stretched pretty thin. So, we're just going to try and play some Blue Tron and relax. I just grabbed a recent 5.0 list that I saw for Blue Tron. Some interesting inclusions. There's a Mindslaver in the main as well as the side. I don't like the Mindslaver combo on Moto because it's so click intensive for so little gain. In paper, it's like your opponent just auto-concedes, but on Moto, it's a very difficult combo to actually pull off consistently. But other than that, we're just playing like a big mana deck with counter spells. It is sort of this weird tempo deck where you try and set your opponent behind and then you get ahead. What makes Blue Tron different from Green Tron? So Green Tron, you attempt to assemble the Tron lands as fast as possible and slam them into play. You use like powerful land tutors, ancient stirrings, and stuff to just turn 3 Tron as quickly as possible with a threat. Blue Tron is you kind of assemble the Tron lands as a win condition, but you do not need it to play the game or win the game necessarily. It's just like once you do, you kind of like 1-for-1 or trade gain tempo, really, is what you're doing until you can play a win condition, protect it. It's a very different style of deck. But you don't use broken land tutors, you use powerful counter spells and draw spells. And so you use like Remands and Condescends to delay the early game or set up for or protect a big threat. You also play Academy Ruins and Mindslaver for like the ultimate win condition of mind control your opponent every turn. But yeah. So other than that, I'm going to go ahead and take this into a league and we'll see what happens. It's been a long time since I played Blue Tron, so hopefully I don't do so terrible. Also, welcome, Toasty Tony. Glad to have you. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy them. I'm sorry I haven't, like I said at the start of this recording, I'm sorry I haven't put anything up on the YouTube for a bit. Alright, I do want to play first. We have a Dismember, but our hand has a lot of 8 drops in it. I think we could do a little bit better on a 6. I don't want to mulligan too much. Okay, well this is just a Tron hand. So I'm going to keep and I'm going to put back Condescend. We'll lead on mine, play map, pass the turn. So we might be able to fake that we're actually Green Tron with a hand like this. If our opponent has turn 1 interaction like Prismatic Ending or March to kill Expedition Map, we're going to be really, really sad. But we wouldn't be completely out of the game or anything. Okay, we draw an island. Play a power plant. Let me check the sideboard for this because I actually didn't prior to playing this. So we don't have any Trinisphere. We're going to be going for probably Coating off of Karn, Great Creator. Oh, I hope I didn't click Reveal Hand. Okay. Opponent cracks Windswept Teeth and concedes. They just can't beat Tron. I don't know what they're playing. The bot said they were last seen playing Hammer Time. If that's the case, if they were playing Hammer Time, I could drop the Remands for Spatial Contortions. Remand is not super good versus a lot of the like cheaper aggressive decks anyway, and Windswept Teeth would indicate a cheaper aggressive deck most of the time, unless it was like Omnath Pile. Because if it was a white-based control deck, they generally would not be playing green. Although I haven't seen Enchantress in forever. Like it could be an Enchantress deck. That's true. This is round 1 of a league, so I could be playing against anything. But I think out of like the last 2 years of playing Modern, I've run into Enchantress maybe 2-3 times. So I don't know that that's likely. Okay, well, we got Blast Zone, Condescend, Repeal. We got lands. This is a very interactive hand. There's no Tron lands, but we have a lot of draw power here. Okay, opponent leads on plains. We'll play an island, pass the turn. Opponent's going to be like, aha, blue Tron. One thing that's really nice about Repeal is against anything that plays 0 drops or Saga tokens, as it were, you can just, it's like Swords to Plowshares a token, draw a card. So like if they get Kaldra here, yeah, we can just repeal the Kaldra token, and we're not worried about that at all. Okay, play tower, pass the turn. So we have Condescend for 1, or we have Repeal, a token here. And I think my opponent's just going to put Kaldra into play, and we can just repeal the Germ token. It's a very, very efficient answer. It's one of the things I do like about Bluetron. Bluetron specifically is like really good in any metagame where your opponent is trying to tap out every turn. So like if your opponent is like playing a 1-drop, then a 2-drop, then a 3-drop, then a 4-drop, Condescend becomes an extremely powerful spell, and so does Remand. And so like if you can just like Condescend Remand a couple of times and then you slam a Tron threat, you're just gonna win. It really struggles when players start playing like multiple 1-drops a turn, or they're casting free spells. Like Condescend gets a lot worse. Okay, so it's Kaldra. Opponent goes to combat. They attack for 5. Let's go ahead and repeal that token. I mean, if they have a God's Willing or I was gonna say what's the other effect that I can never remember, then that's a little bit worse. But yeah, we drew an Urza's Mine, so play an Urza's Mine. Pass the turn. So they can either make a token, or they can they can like maybe hammer or something, because they're gonna fetch something off of this Urza Saga. And we're probably gonna cast Thirst for Knowledge unless there's like a thing we must Condescend to stay alive. Blast Zone is very nice to have in this matchup, as they do play a lot of 1-drops. Alright, Saga ticking up to 3. They're floating mana. Okay, they did not want to make any tokens. They get a Springleaf Drum, another Saga. So I can't Condescend anything that costs less than 4. Damping Sphere. I can't actually Condescend that, but we don't need mana to... Oh, we don't need the Tron mana to actually win. And we do have Blast Zone, which can answer Damping Sphere after a couple turns. Does Blue Tron have the same struggles against Living End, Rhinos, and Titan? I imagine it's a little bit better because you are playing counter spells. But I don't actually know. I'm not super familiar with the matchups. Like I said, I haven't played Blue Tron in forever. Definitely not in the most recent metagame. If they do nothing here, we're going to Thirst. If this is like a pure Steel Paladin, then I will Condescend. Opponent is really struggling to tap their mana right now. Not sure what they're debating about. Maybe they have like another Stoneforge Mystic put in or something. Okay. And opponent passes. They don't do anything. So let's Thirst. 2 mana Tithe. Alright, you got me. It's not that big of a deal, thankfully. We're going to play Blast Zone. Pass the turn. Okay. Saga gaining its second ability. Okay. Another Springleaf Drum. I am going to tick up Blast Zone to 2. Which might be a mistake, considering my opponent has like a Saga that's ready to activate here. I think I'm going to play another island rather than a Tron land. I might want to Condescend something. Or I might want to Thirst. I can't really do both. Okay. This is why I didn't play out Karn Great Creator. I didn't want Karn to just die to the token. Okay. Pithing Needle. I did not think about Pithing Needle. Okay. So we might be in a little bit of trouble now. Do we still have Ensnaring Bridge? We do. I think I'm going to need to thirst into a Repeal here. Which, we do play 4 Repeals, so it's not super unlikely that that's the case. I am going to take 7. I'm going to discard Sundering Titan. Because of Damping Sphere, I cannot Spatial Contortion. I can Repeal if I want to repeal a Construct token. If I draw Power Plant, I want to just repeal Damping Sphere, I think. Chalice. Let me think about this. If I repeal Damping Sphere and draw Power Plant, I could then Karn Ensnaring Bridge. That would keep me alive. I could just repeal a token. That would also keep me alive. I do have more repeals. Chalice on 1 is really good against them. I think I'm going to repeal a token and then just see what I draw. Okay, another tower. I'm going to play a tower, and I think I'm going to play Chalice on 1. I can Spatial Contortion to kill Stoneforge Mystic. This prevents a lot of the plays they could have. I do also have Condescend for 1 if I want to try and scry into something. I'm only 1 mana away from just hard casting Karn and then playing Ensnaring Bridge, so that's pretty good. Opponent has a Pure Steel. So Pure Steel lets them equip Cauldra, and that is a pretty big deal. I cannot counter Pure Steel. Hey, Elbow, how's it going? Okay, so Pure Steel Paladin resolves. Okay. Since they did not immediately equip, I'm going to Spatial Contortion to kill Pure Steel. This does give us a ton of life. This is game 2. I did beat them game 1. They float blue. Yeah, Metallic Rebuke? Wow, okay. That's fine. We won't take any damage this turn, that's good. Opponent puts a Shadow Spear into play. They can suit up a really large creature. Okay. We untap. We draw Condescend. Play another Urza's Mine. Play Karn. Oh, I can't Ensnaring Bridge. I can't Ensnaring Bridge because Damping Sphere. Am I dead? I think I'm dead. No. I am dead. I think? If I Engineered Explosives... No, I can still cast Engineered Explosives because of how Sunburst works with cost increase. Nice. They thought they had me. They did not. I mean, I'm still taking a ton of damage, but I think I survived this. So what happened there for people who weren't aware of the interaction, Engineered Explosives was my second spell, so its Damping Sphere increased its cost by 1. So I chose to pay 0, Damping Sphere increased the cost to 1, and I paid blue for it. So Sunburst is 1, because I paid 1 for it. There's a way to pay 1 without paying 1. They're just swinging everything at me. I don't know if this actually lets me live or not. I take 12. And go to 1. And they throw an Esper Sentinel into the Chalice. We untap, we draw another Urza's Mine. I can activate Blast Zone and kill Mystic, Pure Steel, and Wet Ball. What is in my side? Ensnaring Bridge doesn't actually help that much here because of the fact I can't really empty my hand with a Damping Sphere on the field. I can wish for Ballista, Wurmcoil. It does kill Sphere, that's true. But then I still don't have enough mana to empty my hand. I don't think, anyway. Let's see. If I Blast Zone, killing this and this, they have a 1/1 and and a 4/4 or in a 3/3. I get Spatial Contortion to kill this, but then they still have a 1/1. I guess I can just get Ballista and then kill the 1/1 that's left over. That would be fine. Yeah, I think that works. So kill all the 2-drops. Oh, it's indestructible. Oh, math. Okay. I can play a land, go to 3 cards in hand. Can wish for Ensnaring Bridge. Go to 4 cards in hand, play Ensnaring Bridge. Go to 3 cards in hand and Condescend X0 to go to 2 cards in hand? That doesn't work. This has Trample for some ungodly reason. Yeah. Okay. I think... No, that wouldn't have worked either. I was going to say, I think maybe I was supposed to animate the Cauldra to kill the Pure Steel, but I think opponent's got me. Too many words. Too many words on the board. Okay. Let's try this again. I would like to play first. I'm pretty sure this is a mulligan. Yeah, let's mulligan that. This is also a really slow hand with just Blast Zone for interaction. Opponent kept 7, so I think I'm going to go to 5. Well, we have Dismembers. I'm going to put back a Repeal and an Expedition map. I do not think this is a good hand. But it's better than the other ones, I think. Opponent plays a Sea-Chrome Coast into a Colossus Hammer. I draw a Condescend, sadly. Pass the turn. Leave up Dismember. Okay, opponent plays an Urza Saga. Oh, that hurts. Okay. They march away our Expedition map. Okay, Saga gains its second ability. Play a Plains. We draw a Repeal, which would be great if we ever draw blue mana. Maybe I should have kept that hand with Blast Zone if my opponent was going to keep his hand this slow. Okay. Opponent probably going to make another token here. And they get a Springleaf Drum. They go to combat. So let's dismember the token. This could be a Mana Tithe. That'd be really bad. If it is a Mana Tithe, I guess I was supposed to cast this before the Springleaf Drum came off of the Urza Saga, but... Okay, it was not a Mana Tithe, or they were not worried about it, because we only have 1 land. Okay, it's an Esper Sentinel. That is also really bad for us. Well, second piece of Tron. I'm going to Dismember right now, because otherwise that's going to get too big for me to kill. And I can also pay to prevent my opponent from drawing an additional card. Well, if we just happen to top deck Power Plant, we should be fine. Opponent plays Stoneforge Mystic, getting a Cauldra. Never mind. They do have the Damping Sphere. We take 1. I'd really like an island here. Okay, Walking Ballista is not what I asked for. Play Ballista. Pass the turn. One thing in this particular matchup, if you're playing Green Tron, you at least have access to Force of Vigor, which is huge. But I kept a really bad hand, so let's just kill the Sentinel. I should have kept the 6, not the 5. But I'm not super experienced playing this deck, and like I said, it's been a long time since I had. I guess if I draw an island, I can repeal the token. I actually can't. Well, I can because I can repeal on their upkeep. Another tower, and that's death. Alright. Well, we didn't play too badly, just not great. So we'll be moving on to round 2. Alrighty. Round 2, here we go. Yeah, I'll keep this. We don't have any blue spells, so we don't really need to, like, super highly prioritize playing a Hall of the Storm Giants. We can just play a couple of Tron lands first. We do have Dismember if anything too scary happens too quickly. Opponent is playing a Yorion deck. I think I do have to Dismember a Giver of Runes. Because otherwise Dismember just doesn't kill anything else. We draw Condescend. I'll play Urza's Tower. It's not super highly likely that we draw the last Tron land, but whatever they're playing on 2 is what we would want to counter, like Thalia. Okay, we draw Sundering Titan. Let's play Hall of the Storm Giants, and we will pay X1 for Ballista. I'm going to wait until my opponent's end step to kill Thalia. Very happy I killed that core, because otherwise I would not be able to Walking Ballista Thalia. And the reason we're waiting till our opponent's end step is because there is a possibility my opponent is holding a second Thalia, even though they are a Yorion deck. So we want the ability to at least not have our opponent end their turn with a Thalia in play. Okay, let's kill Thalia. Opponent has an Ephemerate. Okay. We draw Karn. We can't play Karn, so we just have to pass. Hopefully our opponent plays something we can Condescend this turn. I could Academy Ruins and put Walking Ballista on top of my deck, though I don't really want to do that. Man, if they did not have that Ephemerate, we could have resolved a Karn against a empty board, and that would have been great. Okay. Opponent attacks us for 2, we go down to 12. Opponent plays an Iganjo, Seat of the Empire, into a Flicker Wisp, which I can Condescend, so I will. Condescend X2, and we're looking for the last Tron land. I do not have double blue, so I can't transmute for it. The tower is already a redundant land, although the tower does let us play Karn. I should probably just go that route. And then we're only 1 mana away from playing Wurmcoil. So, play Karn, wish with Karn, and get another Walking Ballista. Pass the turn. That gives us something to play if we don't draw land. And we did not want to draw Tolaria West because we don't want to tap land here. Opponent attacks us for 2, they're ignoring Karn. So they either have a way to answer him, or they don't care about him. Okay, they have a way to answer him. So Skyclave Apparition kills Karn. We untap and draw Mindslaver. We are many mana away from that being a win condition, but... Play Walking Ballista. X2. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent's going to path our Ballista. Oh, you know what the correct choice was there? The correct choice was to ping Thalia and then get pathed. Well, I kind of locked myself into this. Opponent's just about out of cards, so hopefully this works. Yeah, I definitely made the wrong decision there. I should have killed Thalia and then let myself get pathed, because I think I could resolve a Wurmcoil Engine here. Can we draw a Remand? I guess I'm remanding a Yorion this turn. But they're hitting me for 5, so I'm going to 3, and then Flicker Wisp is lethal. I could Academy Ruins Walking Ballista at the top of my deck. That only works if for some reason they don't play Yorion this turn. So I guess my out is I draw the last Tron land, and then like Mindslaver my opponent. So cast Remand. Draw an island. Okay, replay Stoneforge Mystic. I guess they do have Ghost Quarter. There's probably no reason they're not Ghost Quartering me on my draw step. They get Caldra. We drew a redundant power plant. Okay. Let's go ahead and scoop. I think I do want the Spatial Contortions. Remand is in general pretty bad against Tax's decks. Like, Condescend's not that much better, but Condescend does not give them their spell back to play it if we cast Condescend. I'll put a punt up on the counter for the not pinging Thalia play. Yeah, the game would have gone very differently had I actually remembered to... had I actually thought to do that. Exclamation point deck will get you a link to the deck list I'm currently playing. This is fine, actually. So, play Power Plant, pass the turn. Opponent starts with a Giver of Runes yet again. So we kill it. Draw an island. Play an island. There's some chance that we just draw running lands and want to keep, like, an Otawara for the bounce, but... Okay, opponent plays a Leonin Arbiter, which will also get dismembered painfully. Draw an Urza's Mine. So we got Repeal, we got Thirst for Knowledge. Opponent has a Tech Edge. And opponent plays Archon of Emeria, so let's Thirst. No Tower. I think the correct choice is actually to discard Wurmcoil Engine here. We draw Condescend, so play Power Plant. It enters tapped. Opponent can Tech Edge our Mine, but we do have another Mine. They attack us for 2. They play a Plains. And they pass. We draw a Ballista. Let's play a Mine. Pass the turn. We're hoping to Condescend something this turn. If our opponent has a Ghost Quarter or another Tech Edge or a Field of Ruin, that would really hurt. Okay, opponent plays an Emeria, Shattered Skyclaves, puts a Yorion in their hand. We untap. We draw Repeal. Play another Power Plant. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat, they attack us for 2. We go to 6. They play Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, let's attempt to Condescend that. Awesome. So, Karn on top, Tower on top of Karn. Yeah, opponent can't cast any more spells. That's how Archon works. So we untap. We draw a tower. So I can go down to 5 mana if I repeal first. Then I can draw Karn and play Karn. That seems pretty good. So repeal Archon. It's only really bad if our opponent has Ephemerate. Okay. Now we can play Karn. We can Wish. We have a ton of mana now. If we get Tech Edged, we go to 6. I think we actually get Mindslaver here. Okay. Opponent has a Skyclave Apparition. And they replay Archon. We draw Spatial Contortion. So, play Otawara. Play Mindslaver. And activate Mindslaver. Hopefully our opponent has some good stuff they can disrupt themselves with. Exile up to 1 other target creature. So let's evoke by exiling Yorion. Exile Archon. Then we can path the Skyclave Apparition. And I'm gonna look at their deck. Yep, seems like taxes to me. Fail to find. Then we get a token. Opponent has no resources. And we pass. Okay, we untap. We draw a Thirst for Knowledge. 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 12 mana. I can play a 6/6 Ballista and kill my opponent in just a couple turns. That seems pretty good. Okay. Attack for 4. Opponent plays a field. Probably going to field the tower. I think it was actually correct to field the mine, because I already have a mine in the grave, but... Alright, we untap, and opponent scoops. Cool. Let's just do that again, huh? We have Repeal. I guess this hand's okay. It's not great. Okay, opponent starts Giver of Runes, turn 1, like they have every single game. We'll start Urza's Mine Relic. Okay, opponent has Plains into Arbiter. It's actually really not good for us. We draw another tower. Play tower. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat and attacks us for 2. That's fine. They play another Giver. Pass, so we're going to draw an extra card here. We draw Mindslaver. Okay, we do have Tron. I can't play Engineered Explosives on one. I can get a Walking Ballista, but I can't play it for very much. Ensnaring Bridge is kind of a liability because I have too many cards in hand. Coating doesn't do enough. Pithing Needle on Giver of Runes is somewhat helpful. I think we just play Wurmcoil. That's the thing about playing a Tron deck, you can always just draw Tron. I mean, opponent could have Path. If they did, it would be a little bit punishing because I can't pay to search my library. I have a Flicker Wisp. Okay, they're gonna Flicker Wurmcoil Engine and attack us for 2. We draw Dismember. So play a tower, go to combat, attack for 6. They can block and just give protection from colorless. Okay. And we Mindslaver. Okay. So opponent's turn, we get to see their hand. I guess if they have Solitude, they would Solitude now. Because otherwise we're going to use it against them. Yep, there it is. They Solitude, pitching Solitude. Exiling Flicker Wisp. Oh, they're going to target it and give it protection from white. Hey, D-Slayer. Thank you for resubscribing. 12 months. Okay, so opponent draws March of Otherworldly Light. So it's exile Giver, pitching Skyclave. Choose that, please. Okay. Yep. And we just give this protection from nothing. Blue, I guess. Okay. Pass the turn. Oh yeah, no, that's true. You're probably right there. It's probably better to just wait. I think I can just win this race though. So we play Sundering Titan. Take out a Plains. Play an island. Repeal Giver. And then Dismember Flicker Wisp. Now I can start attacking with a big lifelinker and a huge dude. They're on 2 mana and I've used a ton of their removal. So like they have to have Path. We untap. We draw another Urza's Mine. Go to combat. Attack for a bunch. Opponent does not block, they go to 1. So we just get Walking Ballista and win the game. Alright. Alrighty. That's a round win. So we're 1-1 in this modern Blue Tron League. Morning, D-Slayer. How's it going? It's probably visible on camera, but I am extremely sunburned. I was out working all day yesterday, helping my brother drive posts into the ground, which was not fun, but... Oh, good. I'm stretched a little thin at the moment. I'm resolving medical situation, helping my brother with a bunch of stuff, helping my father with a bunch of stuff, trying to sort out buying a house, trying to maintain my full-time job, trying to keep Porter happy. The elderly dachshund's kind of having a medical situation at the moment. And yeah, so that's why I haven't been uploading to YouTube. I have to, there's a couple of improvements I have to make before I do. Mainly I have to update the Patreon outro, and I just have not had a moment to do that. So, but I don't want to miss my streams. Need at least another U, it sounds like. Yeah, no. There was a second Kano running around. That'd be useful. I don't think two Kanos would be capable of cooperation. We'd probably be at each other's throats. I think there can be only one. This hand does okay. If we can condescend something, this hand is pretty good. If we can't condescend anything, then this hand is not that great. On the draw, it's a little bit worse, but... Okay. Opponent plays Unclaimed Territory, naming Human. So they are playing humans. Let's start Power Plant into Map. I suppose. Pass the turn. So Aether Vial ticks up to 1. They kept a hand purely based on Aether Vial. So we're going to play an island. And if they Aether Vial a 1-drop, I'm going to repeal Aether Vial here. Okay, because that should buy us quite a bit of time. Okay, they play a champion. They replay Aether Vial and attack us for 1. We draw Condescend. Let's go get an Urza's Mine. And I'm just going to Dismember now. They've been set back pretty far with that repeal. If they don't have another 1-drop, this is especially good. Yeah, play an Expedition map. And play an island. Just leave up Condescend and go get Tower on their end step. We're very close to just being able to Mindslaver them indefinitely. Another Aether Vial. No sense in condescending here. We're kind of at the point that if we just draw Karn, they lose. Opponent is in the tank. Okay. So on their end step, let's go get Tower. We draw Otawara. So we're at 9 mana, so we can't play and activate Mindslaver. But I can do something pretty mean here. And just bounce Aether Vial. It's so rude. Opponent gets to put a 2-drop into play. Charming Prince. They're going to scry 2. You got it. The dangers of keeping Aether Vial only hands. Especially in the current metagame, I don't think I would play a deck like this and keep only an Aether Vial hand. Because like there's you know, Prismatic Ending, there's March of Otherworldly Light, there's so many ways to answer onboard permanents that are cheap. It's just way too risky. Good morning, Draco. How's it going? I mean, like, Tron's not particularly favored. A lot of decks do a lot more unfair things faster. Like, Tron's still Tron. You can still do Tron things. But, like, just some of the stuff doesn't line up well with it. There's a lot of decks that cast a ton of spells for free, and if you can do a bunch of stuff early, then, you know, or if you can disrupt Tron, then Tron's not going to do anything. I think it's partially because a lot of people aren't playing Tron. Generally, when you see a lot of finishes for a particular deck, it's not because the deck is necessarily good, it's because a lot of people are playing it. Opponent plays a Thalia's Lieutenant. They're going to smack for 3. So let's go get another tower. We untap and draw Tolaria West. Well, that's nice, because we can follow this up with a... like, we can start Academy Ruinsing Mindslaver, but we can also just transmute for Walking Ballista and clear their board. No, we will not do that. See what they draw. They draw another Thalia's Lieutenant. I think we just float their mana and tap their Vial. Oh, actually, we can cast Aether Vial, and then we can Condescend Aether Vial. We'll not pay for it. So Urza's Mine and a Spatial Contortion. Yeah, I don't mind drawing Spatial Contortion. I could have done that with Thalia's Lieutenant. Maybe that was better, but... actually, let's not. Okay, then we just pass the turn. We draw a Thirst. So, play Academy Ruins. I think I'm going to transmute. We'll get a Walking Ballista. Let's play a big ol' 5/5 Walking Ballista and kill their board. Yeah, Tron will, I think, rarely ever be the best deck. There have been metas where it is, but like it's generally just like okay to good. If you draw the perfect Tron hand, if you're lucky and you draw that hand frequently, then it's definitely one of the better decks, pretty much regardless of metagame. But you know, we'll drop the Remands, bring in the other Spatial Contortions, and run it like this. All right. Oh wow, that was a time ago, wasn't it? I don't think. Yeah, no, I definitely was not playing, I think, even at that time. So, but Tooth and Tron was fun. We'll start with a Tron land. Pass the turn. Opponent has Cavern, so this Singleton Remand we have is going to be pretty awful. I think as long as they don't ban the Tron lands, there will be a Tron deck. Play an island, pass the turn. Or as long as they don't unban Cloud Post either. So, it's like those are the two things that would prevent you from playing Tron. Because if Cloud Post was legal, you'd just play Cloud Post. But. Okay, so we'll Spatial Contortion to kill this Meddling Mage. Naming Repeal so they don't name Spatial Contortion with this one. Though they still might. They still name Repeal. Okay, that's fine. We draw a Field of Ruin. Now, I could field their Cavern. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to play a Power Plant and pass. My intent here is to cast Thirst and hopefully draw the last Tron land so I can like play a Wurmcoil or something. They name Wizard on their other Cavern. That's slightly intimidating. They hit us for 2. They play Extraction Specialist. This is to buy back Meddling Mage. So let's Thirst. Discard an artifact. We'll discard Wurmcoil Engine. Now, if they don't name Ugin the Spirit Dragon and we top deck Tower, this game is over. They named Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Is this person in my chat? Are they watching? Okay, we draw Expedition Map. Well, I mean, we have Walking Ballista, right? So, I think what we do is play an island and play a map, and then we just pass the turn. Like, Remand is not going to do anything here, but do I have an Oblivion Stone on the sideboard? I do not. I do have an Engineered Explosives, but I do not have 2 colors of mana because I took out the River of Tears. Talking things into existence, is that what they call it nowadays? Okay, opponent goes to combat. They're going to attack us for 7. They're going to attack us for 5. Oh, because this can't attack or block. Okay. They play a Pyre of Heroes. This is Human Pod. They sack extraction specialist. I have no doubt they can answer this expedition map, so I'm just gonna go get a tower. I could have remanded Pyre of Heroes actually, but Whirler Rogue. We draw another Ballista. Do we just play a big Ballista? I think we just play a big Ballista. And we're going to kill the Whirler Rogue because they could upgrade that into a 5-drop. Then pass. Okay, opponent plays an unclaimed territory. I'm glad you're watching. I'm sorry that there hasn't been much recently, because like I said, I'm terribly busy, but you know, I want to get back into making it. It's definitely, as soon as I sort out the housing situation, however that's going to resolve itself, then that's going to be fantastic. But opponent attacks us for 4. That's true. Yeah, I don't think they'll ban map, especially with map just being as not great as it is right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can play Ballista for 2, kill Magus, have 5 mana, and then play Karn, I guess. It's not unreasonable. I could just plus Karn here to make sure he survives. I think I'll do that. I'm not going to target anything. This way they can't just Pyre of Heroes and go get another Magus. They sack a land. That's a good sign for us. I mean, even if they basically just have to kill us. Or kill Karn. That would be annoying. But we're about to resolve an Ugin, and that should just be GG. Attack Karn for 3. It goes down to 3. We draw Otawara. Play Ugin. -3. They sent me a message. It says brutal GG's. Good luck, rest. Okay, opponent scoops. Alright, thank you, opponent. That's another round win. Alright, we're 2-1. It probably could have been 3-0 had I not just, like, thrown the first game, because the more I think about it, I definitely should have pinged that Thalia. I think, reacted too soon. Was that game? Was that not versus... I don't remember now. Maybe that was the one game in match 2 that I lost. I don't remember. But either way, moving on to round 4. Whirler Rogue is the one that enters... It's a 4-mana 2/2 that makes 2 Thopters. And then you can tap 2 artifacts to make a creature unblockable. I think. It's, I don't think you can pay to make Thopters, though. Alright, this hand's okay. So we're gonna keep. No worries. No worries. Just having a nice chill Sunday stream today. Okay. Opponent leads on Misty Rainforest into a breeding pool. And cycles a Striped Riverwinder. So we are against Living End today. So let's lead on Urza's Mine. Pass the turn. Oh, yeah, Whirler Virtuoso. Opponent cycles a Curator of Mysteries and a Street Wraith. We're getting griefed. So there goes the Remand. If you want Kano's pick for the most broken deck in the current metagame, even though it's not the most highly represented, probably because it's a $2,000 deck, I would wager that Living End is probably the best deck in the format. Solely on the fact that it plays the most spells for free. So. Okay, opponent cascades. Into a Living End, so we Condescend Living End. Thirst for Knowledge Island. Thirst for Knowledge is probably what I should be drawing, but I'm going to bottom it. Okay, we draw Tolaria West. I can transmute for a Tron land or a Ballista. Actually, I'm going to transmute for Chalice. I forgot Chalice is in this deck. Play Chalice on 0. That's true. Okay, opponent attacks us for 2. Play another Urza's Mine. Play Karn. Wish with Karn. I think we do get Coating here. Yeah, they do have the Colossal Sky Turtle, which they can use to just bounce Chalice. Or Otawara. So, they're probably going to combo off here. And Karn did not get Ensnaring Bridge, which is a big deal. So they're going to attack Karn down to 1 and cast a Cascade spell. They would not Otawara if they did not have another Cascade spell. And they're doing it while we're tapped out. They get to Grief us as well. Grief is probably the most like major offender of unfair. Like, you can't really play Grief in like any deck and have it be good. You want to play Grief in a deck that's trying to do stuff early and disrupt your opponent. And like, Grief Emerate as a deck is strong, but it's not even like, it's an example of what you can do with Grief. But Living End being able to play Grief is just disgusting. Just like getting a free Thoughtseize on the way to doing whatever else you were doing. Yeah, so the correct choice was to get Ensnaring Bridge, but it wouldn't have mattered. There's our Relic. We're taking... not quite lethal, but almost. Alright. I guess we bring in Negates. And I will put a Relic in the main deck. Spatial Contortion can come out, because it's not really going to do anything. Wurmcoil's not really going to do anything. Sundering Titan's good, but it can basically just stay in the side. Actually, Repeal is not great here. So let's take Repeal out entirely. And I guess we'll leave Wurmcoils in the deck. Because Repeal just doesn't do anything. It doesn't hit any of their permanents, ever. Like, Relic is the best card you can have in your deck to slow Living End down. Because while it's on board, it's pressuring their graveyard. It's not an all or nothing like Nile Spellbomb or like something like Leyline of the Void or Ravenous Trap or something. You can slowly eat their grave, and then at the point where they can't interact, you can make sure they have an empty grave. So then you force them to start over. So if you're playing in a Living End heavy meta, I would recommend 4 Relics in the main deck for basically any Tron deck, green or blue. You can still lose playing Relic. Like, you do have to win the game, and you do have to win the game quickly. But just Relic's going to be your best card against them. And they have Force, Sky Turtle, Force of Vigor specifically. I mean, Sky Turtle, like, sometimes Ingot Chewer, which I don't even think they play anymore. They play the green Elemental with Evoke, Foundation Breaker. Like, they've got all of those cards to beat your Relic and still advance their game plan. It's disgusting. I thought it was non-land permanents. It might only be creatures. Yeah, return target creature. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. Oh yeah, Brazen Borrower. That's the other thing with that same cost. And Footfalls is like sort of in the same boat, right? But Footfalls Footfalls doesn't use the grave, but it's not as powerful when it combos. All right. Well, I guess I will keep a Chalice on 0. I really hate doing this, because I know exactly what's going to happen here. I'm going to start with Urza's Mine, Chalice on 0, Expedition Map, and I'm going to get forced. But, like, it's too good to not do. So what I'm going to do is pass to my second main phase, then play Expedition Map. Hopefully I don't have Force. Well, it's not just... It's not 8 power for 3 versus 10 to 20 power for 3. It's 8 power for 3 versus 10 to 20 power and wrathing your opponent's board for 3. Like, everybody forgets that Living End actually kills all of your opponent's creatures. And so, like, it's super good against even, like, hexproof dudes because they're forced to sack, or indestructible guys because they're forced to sack. It's just nasty. It's good versus Hammer because, like, it's an instant speed Wrath of God. For cheap. It's cheaper than Wrath of God. Like, it's so gross. That's one deck I wish they would ban. Or at least, if they're not going to ban Living End, which is fine, they don't have to. I'm not saying they should even. I just wish they would. If they're not going to ban it, I want some sort of answer to free spells. Like, give me a Phyrexian Mana Nyx. Like, Nix, the one that's counter target spell if it was cast for free for 1 blue. Give me that, but free. Okay, we drew the wrong Tron land. Alright, pass the turn. I mean, they could errata, because, like, they could errata Cascade, you're correct. I don't think they will, but they could. It would be a decent solution. But I mean, like, it would be a decent solution, and it would be not that broken, because you could still, as foretold, or, like, Electro Balance, unless they errated it to say that you can't cast spells without a mana cost for free. But that would be... I think that kind of breaks the wordage of you may play it without paying its mana cost. So, I don't know. I just think Living End has too many tools and it's too consistent. They took my Mindslaver. They're going to Violent Outburst on my draw step. Yup. They force, pitching Foundation Breaker. They didn't even wait till my draw step. The disrespect. Double grief. There goes my whole hand. Opponent gets a massive board. It's just like... This is what I really dislike about this deck. Opponent gave up 2 cards, Thoughtseize me 4 times, answered any permanent that I could have played to actually interrupt their whole situation. It's like having a counterspell didn't matter because of grief, and having any permanent that disrupts Living End didn't matter because of force. And they still put 20 power in play. Like, they're really consistent and they're really powerful. So don't be surprised if in the future Living End gets a ban, because that's insane. Hey Tarek, how's it going? You're just in time to watch me play the final match. Cyclonic Rift 1 time? Yeah, except that Cyclonic Rift doesn't do anything. Like, Cyclonic Rift gets griefed. Yeah, free spells which protect your combo are really good? Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. I mean, like, if they banned Violent Outburst, specifically, I think the deck would be a lot worse, because then they have to combo at sorcery speed. But, like, because then they can't just, like, end step, force your permanents that you cast this turn Violent Outburst. But I'm not sure that makes the deck bad. Like, that makes the deck still good. Because, like, Shardless Agent is good. They could play Ardent Plea to go off at sorcery speed. They used to play Demonic Dread. Demonic Dread at least required a target. Like, I don't know. I think Living End's too good. And I'm not just saying that because I lose to it. I actually put together Living End. I played 30 matches, and I had a 75% game win rate. I was also bored to death, because it's not fun for me to play. I'm doing alright, Tarek. I'm kind of tired, and I've been juggling a ton, which is why nothing's been going up on the YouTube, and I apologize profusely to everybody, but, you know, been helping my brother, been trying to sort out buying a house, been trying to sort out medical situation, been trying to sort out a pet medical situation for the Dachshund. Porter's doing good. He's napping under my chair here. We'll lead on Urza's Mine. We're probably going to have to play a blue source on the way to Tron, because we're going to need to draw something to win the game with. This could be Control. It could, if it's Yorion, it's probably Omnath Pile rather than Control, although Control is still possible. We're 2-2. This is whether or not we get our entry back. What's that blue card next to an island? Thirst for Knowledge. Teferi Time Raveler. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it kind of sucks because we can no longer use our counter spells, but play an island. I've got to play at sorcery speed, so I might as well do this now. Let's discard an artifact, and I guess it's going to be map. And we can pass and discard, I suppose, field. You know what I think this is the craziest thing about Teferi Time Raveler? I think Teferi Time Raveler could be missing his static ability of forcing everybody to cast stuff at sorcery speed. I think you could delete that line of text and he would still be good enough to play in Modern. like you wouldn't see as much play, obviously. Like, nowhere near the same amount of play. But he would still be good. Which I think is just nuts. So let's play Relic. And nuke the graves and draw. We draw a tower. Alright. So I guess we play map. And we'll map for Tolaria West? I guess I could get Otawara. that also does similar things. Let's get Tolaria West. I might want to transmute for Ballista or something. We do have a Hall of Giants, yes. Oh, actually, I have Tron. I should have gotten Hall of Giants. It's been too long since I played Blue Tron, Tarek. Too long. Okay, opponent upticks Teferi to 3. Obsidian Charmaw? Main deck Obsidian Charmaw. Oh my god. And they're gonna flicker it with Yorion. What is this deck? We draw a Condescend, which is worse than useless. Yeah, let's attempt to Dismember. I'm gonna play Oboro just so I can transmute. And I'm going to go get... Hall is kind of slow now, but it still might be the best. Let's do that. I should have done that first. Should never have gotten Tolaria. Should have just gone. Because I could have then played Hall this turn and then played Tron next turn, and we'd have been fine. Okay, opponent takes up Teferi to 4. Obsidian Charmaw into Yorion. That's gross. I like it. I like it because I've not seen it before. But it is gross. Alright. We untap. We draw a Remand, which is not useful. I think we have to dismember this Yorion. I'll play Hall, pass the turn. It's nice that Little Tef doesn't have an ult. Oh gosh. I mean, yes, but like... Were you here at the beginning of this match when I was like, you could delete a line of text off that card and he would still be modern playable? Like, if he was just a... You can cast your sorceries with Flash or unsummon stick, he would still be modern playable. He just wouldn't see as much play. Like, okay. It's just like, could you imagine if this card had an ult? If this card had an ult, it would be banned. Okay, this Hall is not looking very good now that my opponent has 2 Death Touch blockers. Seasoned Pyro. Yeah, thankfully they did not put game-winning ults on 3-mana Planeswalkers from War of the Spark. We draw Repeal. So I'm going to repeal this token, just to draw. We draw another useless Remand. I guess play a tower. Pass the turn. It doesn't have Trample. It has Ward. Aren't you the Blue Tron expert, Tarek? Even I knew that, and I don't read cards. Oh my gosh. You should go play Mono Red Tron, out of shame. It took my tower. I guess I animate this to block a Seasoned Pyromancer? Owl's World. Welcome. Glad to have you. I have a lot of European viewers, and I don't know why, but, you know, I think it's... I don't know... is it Guten Nacht to Germany, I think? Yeah, I'm not playing Mono Red Tron. Oh, great, they've got Ren and 6. I'll be honest with you, Owl's World, I have no idea what that says. I also have no idea how to pronounce that. It's like squirrel in German. Nice. Kano proceed to the dying step? Just about, yeah. Sundering Titan would have been good last turn. If I'd had Sundering Titan last turn, my opponent would be toast. But because of the double Besiege You, I no longer have mana for Sundering Titan. That's sad. So versus opponent's deck, is Negate good? They play a lot of Planeswalkers, but like, if they play Teferi, counterspells are awful. We used to get punished by Teferi pretty hard there. It might be better than Remand, maybe. Hey Mav, how's it going? Exclamation point deck will get you a deck list. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna run it back as is and hope for a little better luck. They do not need to print a blue Urborg. They should never print a blue Urborg. Or a red one. Or a white one. That's true. Remand is a little better on the play. As is Condescend. So. It's supposed to snow? You're kidding. Isn't it summer? Like, isn't it a desert? Oh, man. Well, blue, I was like, blue would be awful because High Tide is a card that exists in some formats. And so it's just like, oh yeah, instead of the restriction of having to play any islands at all, we can just play that. I don't want a red Urborg because there is specific like mountain land destruction, because red is the color of land destruction, so there's stuff like peak eruption. Valakut is also the other one. Valakut is the bigger reason, actually. Because it just Valakut would always kill you no matter what. I don't want white because I don't want people thinking it's a cycle, and I don't want a cycle of those cards. That's basically it. You already have Celestial Dawn. Play Celestial Dawn if you want everything to be plains. I will keep 5 of these. Let's put back an expedition map and a Field of Ruin. Start with map. Pass the turn. This is not looking good for us because we had to mulligan twice. Okay. Walking Ballista off the top one time. Remand. I would have played Hall if I didn't draw Remand. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna, I think, die to Ragavan. Opponent exiles an Urza's power plant. White Urborg might make a Mary of the Sky Ruin playable. Actually, that would also be a problem, because white decks would not even play that. Like, Maria is a cool strategy, reanimating a huge thing every turn, but like, just being able to do that in a control deck for the cost of playing 2 lands it's too low. Renin 6, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna remand that. We draw a Wurmcoil. Play Hall, pass the turn. Opponent replays Renin 6. Picks up Wooded Foothills. I own all of my Moto cards. I've been building this collection for forever. So I think the last time I checked my account's worth, it was several $1,000s. I could just blast zone away the monkey, but that puts me behind, and I don't really want to do that. I'll just get a random land. I actually should have gotten Power Plant, because there was one that was already destroyed, I think, but... Okay, we draw Condescend. Maybe that does something. It's not my birthday. Oh my gosh, you guys. My birthday was last month.
Happy birthday!
D-Slayer. So opponent fetches up a Sacred Foundry, untapped. Am I getting Lightning Helixed? Eladamri's Call. I think I can Condescend whatever they tutor for, which is... No, I can't, because it could be Charmaw. So we Condescend. I do need more lands, but not these lands. Put them to the bottom. I also need a way to deal with Ragavan. Okay, opponent picks up a land. Hits us for 2, exiles an Expedition map, which they could actually play if they wanted to.
Happy birthday!
That would give them a tutor for Besiju, and then we would probably just be done, because they have Renin 6 Besiju. And we don't really have enough basics to kind of make it through that. This is another Eladamri's Call. We're also probably toast. Kano has at least 1 birthday per year. It might as well be today. That's a good one. I actually haven't heard that one, Toasty Tony. I have not heard that one before, so good job. Oh, man. You guys are silly. I'm glad to be hanging out with you guys for a little bit. I have legs. Yeah. Ouch. I don't think we stood... Like, this was like Yorian teched specifically to beat Tron, which I've never seen before. Alright, pass the turn. What? What kind of logic is that? Oh my goodness. Well, the worst part is they just got a remand, so now I can't cast Thirst for Knowledge. They'll just remand it. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, I think my gut was showing. That's not good. I got a little heavier from stress. What? What is happening? Oh, that's... Yeah, alright. You've got it, opponent. I have not seen that combination of cards. You got it. Oh, man. Jeez. That's fair. That is fair. All right, well, what did we learn? I don't think Blue Tron's a bad deck. I think it's actually kind of legit. Mindslavering somebody, even if you are only Mindslavering an opponent once, depending on their hand, that can just outright win you the game. You can force them to cast their removal on their own creatures. You can waste all of their resources. A lot of the pitch spells do make Mindslaver better. Like we saw Solitude being insane because Solitude can exile their own creatures. So, yeah, I think that some of the things this deck is doing is good. I am kind of disappointed though, because like Remand Condescend is just nowhere near as powerful as it used to be. Opponents frequently cast multiple spells a turn. They frequently cheat on mana. Counter spells are really bad versus decks that are playing things like Grief, especially Living End. Even though, like, theoretically this deck has a good Living End matchup because it can counterspell Living End or, like, preemptively play a Chalice on 0. It just doesn't matter versus Living End. It has some game versus decks like Hammer because you can repeal tokens that are big. You can repeal small creatures or, you know... Dismember is also useful versus those decks, but it is a couple of awkward matchups, but I think, you know, it's playable. It can win games. I wouldn't call it top tier, but I think it's decent. So, would Ledger Shredder have a place in Tron? I don't think so. Ledger Shredder works in decks that, like, can utilize the graveyard some. So, like, if you were trying to do Delirium things or Arclight Phoenix things, then I could see Ledger Shredder being, like, somewhat good. I don't think Ledger Shredder is as good as people are saying it is. Just because some people have had success with it, I think it's good, but not insane. I have not played a deck with it yet, though. I've played it in Limited because I've drafted a couple, but I sold them because they were worth way too many tickets. But in Moto or paper, I think it's worth a lot on Moto specifically. Last I checked, it was like 60 tickets for a Ledger Shredder. Yeah, like, the card is good. It is a cheap flyer with high toughness that gets bigger because people play the game. And, you know, it can draw you cards or it can loot away cards you don't want. So, like, those are all individually good things. I don't think it's, like, the best creature in Modern or anything like that. Are they really expensive in paper? Fair enough. Okay, I think I'm going to call it here for this. I have to get stuff done around the house. I really, really, really want to get back to streaming frequently and for longer. But I've got stuff I've got to do. I've got to take care of the boy. I got to check on the other dog. I got to get stuff sorted and organized and respond to a realtor and check up on all the other things on my massive list of to-do. But yeah, I will do my best to try and get this one up on YouTube. I did like this one, and I have a few configurations that I need to get done. I need to update the Patreon outro, but I will try to get this one on YouTube this week. I apologize for not having done that. You're all wonderful human beings. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. If you haven't yet, if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a like, drop a comment, or subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps out a lot. If you're here on Twitch, please consider following. I generally only stream Magic, although we might see some Elden Ring streaming. I still have not gotten into that yet. I don't own it, but I kind of want to stream some Elden Ring. I am terrible at Souls-like games, and I have no spoilers. I know nothing about the game other than it's a Souls-like. So... should be fun, should be great. Exclamation point Discord will get you a link to my Discord. It's the best way to contact me or reach out to me. If you need to talk to me, it's kind of like Twitch chat every day of the week when people are talking. And so if you like it here, you'll like it there. So I'll see you guys next time. You're all wonderful human beings. Bye.